Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2. Hopefully, you were able to catch the first one. If you haven't, go back and take a look because you're going to see the very first part of Jodi's interrogation. And you're going to go all the way up to the point where she says, "Detective, I'm not a murderer." And the detective walks out the door. So, where we're going to pick up here is the moment that he comes back. So, in the very first part, she is trying to establish a story, their relationship story, and how they had this romance, but it didn't work out. But they're so mature that they have this amazing friendship now. She's happy for him dating, and he's happy for her dating. And she clearly had no motive to go and kill him because she was on her way to Utah to see a new boyfriend. So, how can she be obsessed with Travis if she's on her way to go see Ryan? So, that's number one. She doesn't have the means. She has no idea where this gun came from. He was shot? I didn't have a 25 auto. So there's all of those types of things that are involved in her story that she's saying it wasn't me. I wasn't there. So she goes through that part of their relationship, and she also goes through this really insane map drawing storyline of this trip that she took, and her cell phone was off, and it was just really wild. So go take a look at that if you haven't already. Again, where we're starting off here is when the detective is coming back because he has sat there and listened for the first hour to her say all of this. And he starts to refute it, and he starts to say, "Listen, we know that you were there. You cannot explain the trip that you took. You can't explain the many, many hours that you can't account for. You don't have an alibi for them. You absolutely had the opportunity to go and kill him and then be on your way to be in Utah the next day." And so he says, "Okay, I'm going to go get the pictures." So this is where we're going to get started. So let's say hello to Amanda James. Hello, Amanda James.
Hello, everyone.
So you excited to see what Jodi has to say?
I am. I'm always excited to see what lies she's going to come up with, no matter how far-fetched or ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's interesting. The detective left to get the pictures, like you said, but I think he also wanted to give her some time to think over the futility of her trying to stick with the story
Oh,
that
yes.
she's been giving so far.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what she has to say now.
Yeah, you definitely see that a lot of times in other interrogations too. They'll say, "I'll be right back." And they'll kind of let them sit there. And they're probably watching and listening to see what they're doing during that time. Kind of let them stew a little bit, maybe get a
Mhm.
little bit nervous. So,
Yeah, exactly. They use silence as a tool, from what I understand.
mm-hmm.
It's very uncomfortable. I mean, imagine you're trapped in that room. You can't leave. You can't do anything. You just have four walls to stare at and
Yeah,
think about the terrible position you're in.
right. Exactly. All right, let's get started.
What kind of gun is that? Just curious.
It's a Glock.
I'm sure you have something to say about that.
Well, I mean, she's trying to play this innocent, sweet girl. What kind of gun is that? Why does that matter, Jodi?
Right.
Who gives a shit at this point? You are being arrested for first-degree murder. You nearly decapitated your ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important what kind of gun this detective has? Um, and she says things in an almost flirty way.
She
What
does.
kind of gun is that?
Yeah,
And
she's.
again, she's like leaning across the table
Mm-hmm.
at him, trying to act casual, unconcerned. I don't know, because an innocent person would be shitting their pants in this situation.
Oh,
They
yeah,
wouldn't just be lounging
definitely.
across the table.
She's quite comfortable. Yeah, for sure. She's just kind of like how she would be sitting in school, you
She's
know?
bored,
Yeah, she's
almost.
bored. Exactly. Yeah, that's a good way
Let's
to
get
put
the
it.
show on the road.
Yep.
I just bought a gun.
Yeah, Jim? You probably found it by now.
Probably. I was taken it somewhere.
These are just a few photos. And I want to be careful not showing you certain photos.
Please
because
don't
some of
show me.
them are very bad. That's obviously Travis's house, right? Remember that?
Yeah. If Travis were here today, he would tell you that if it wasn't me.
No. My job is to speak for Travis right now. And everything Travis is telling me is that Jodi did this to me. Have you ever shot that 25 auto?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever touched it?
The one that was stolen? I've never seen it. Like your grandpa said, it looks like a toy gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a 25 looks like. I know what a 22 looks like. And I know
It's
what,
just like a 22, actually.
well, the 22s that I saw kind of looked like the ones in the westerns where they had the barrel and the long, you know. But there was another 22 in this store.
I love
It
that
looked like a toy gun, so it looked like
the detective. Sorry, can you pause for a sec? I love that the detective is flipping through the pictures because several of them were nude pictures of Jodi from the
Yes,
day
I
that she
know.
told Travis, like very graphically nude photos.
Yeah.
a squirt gun, like a water gun. I don't know.
I want to know which pictures to show you.
Those photos are so eerie.
Yeah, I agree. I think the detective just flipped past it, not the one that's on the screen now, but just
Mm-hmm.
a second ago. And I believe it looked like the photo of Travis on the autopsy table, which is, don't search it. I wouldn't recommend. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the most disturbing pictures I've ever seen. And they
Yeah.
have a picture of him when they found him in the
Yes.
shower. What was it,
Yes.
5 days after the murder?
Yeah.
They're they're really disturbing is the only
Yeah.
word I can really describe. And now
Yeah.
the prosecutor, the picture that's on the screen there, the prosecutor, um, in his theory, that picture was taken like at the moment that Jodi threatened him in some way, or took out the gun or something, and that's why you
Mm.
see the kind of that like confused and bewildered look on his face in the
Okay.
shower there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, certainly that could have been what happened. Because
Mhm.
the way that the photos were taken in the sequence and the timestamps that are on them, it was pretty immediate after the shower photos is when he was on the
Mhm.
ground. So I
Right.
think that is when she just started attacking him with the knife.
I totally think she attacked him in the shower. It's a more
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable place.
Yeah.
He's trapped
Yeah.
in a little shower.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's trapped and he doesn't have anything at all.
right.
Ugh.
Not even any clothes on. And I think he was
Yeah.
sitting down in the shower at one point, which would make him
Mm-hmm.
even more vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's that one. Remember him?
And it's like she's looking at that picture and the way she says, yeah, like she's having a happy memory,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, knowing that she took that picture
Mm-hmm.
moments before she killed him.
Yeah.
is he naked in the shower?
Yep.
And when they found him, they didn't even know all of his injuries because
Hmm.
he was shoved in the shower stall. So
Right.
the way that he was cramped in there and everything, they had no idea of the stab, I think, of the chest. I don't even think of the gunshot wound.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I know that afterwards Jodi took like a cup that she used to
Mm-hmm.
bathe the dog, to pour water on the dog,
Mm-hmm.
and she poured it all over him to clean, probably to clean off any like DNA from her
For
or
sure.
something.
Yeah.
But that washed away some of the blood.
Yes.
So yeah, when the roommates found him, they they didn't like know what had happened. They just said he's dead and there's blood all over the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Let's see it. This is
Travis would never go for that.
soon after you and him had sex on his bed.
That couldn't have been too soon after.
An hour or so.
The last time we
2
had sex in his
hours.
bed was an 8.
He's gonna find her photos now.
Yes, I love that. But she must know that just deleting them doesn't permanently delete. I guess she didn't, obviously. You would think she would know that. And
Yeah.
all these pictures were time stamped. You know what? I wonder, I'm assuming she didn't delete the shower pictures of Travis. So maybe that's why she
Mm-hmm.
thinks she can, oh, well, somebody else must have taken those pictures. There's no evidence that I took them because she deleted all the other pictures of
Right.
her.
Yeah. She has no idea.
This didn't come out very good. Just their copies of actual photos. That's you. I wanted to cover you up because
Oh,
that's you. All of you.
that looks like me.
Right there, get out of my face.
What is she doing?
I don't
She's
know.
just
I was just thinking that too. What exactly is she staring at? There's not a lot there to look at.
no. And why is she laying across the table? Pull the binder towards you
Yeah,
and
right.
sit like an adult. She's like a 3-year-old climbing across the table at him.
Right.
I think it's really funny how he covered her up though and said, "That's you. That's all of you."
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to cover this because I'm not going to embarrass you here.
Hmm.
You can look at the rest of it if you want. There's a few of those. There's a few more. Which I try not to show people because I don't want to put you out there like that to people. Let's just say I've seen all of you. And I've seen all of Travis. But the one that sticks in my mind of Travis is on the autopsy table. And I'm not going to show you that. Or should I? But this one I don't know if I should show you, but nothing bad. Too bad. But it's just one of the photos that was taken by accident. And this is just a small portion of it. It's your foot, Jodi. These are your pants. No, it's off color because we had to enhance it and the color kind of changes a little bit. Let's try this.
This is his bathroom.
I don't understand that.
No shit, Jodi.
Yeah, he's telling you that's Travis, and you're like, that's his bathroom. I mean, Right? Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Let's focus on your foot. Forget about the bathroom. This is you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is not my foot.
These are your pants. It's a different color, like I said, because we had to enhance it and the color changes. The zipper back.
I have both of those pants at home. If these are the same one. I don't have a zipper there though. Not on mine. And this is a black stripe and this is white and the black goes around the bottom too.
Couldn't even recognize Travis. He'd been there so long.
I keep thinking of Brother Hyatt. I would address him.
No, this is another one that's just a copy, but it's you. Same day. All time stamped, all everything. First picture here, Travis. Let's see. The date. 6/4/08 at 5:22 p.m. That's when it started. Photo of you started, in Travis's bedroom. About 1:30, 1:45, something like
Yeah.
that.
I don't know what kind of camera he got.
There, see that?
That spot?
See the spots here? They look a different color because we used a chemical to enhance this. That right there, blood. It's a mixture of yours and his. And that's your palm print. Of your left palm.
I don't have any cuts on my left palm.
Nobody said that your cut was on palm. Do you have any recent cuts that are healing?
Well, my cat scratches me. Little things. These are all.
This is also over a month since it happened.
Right.
So if
Right.
she had, some type of a cut, she obviously did in
She
order for
did,
that
yeah.
to happen,
Mhm.
but of course it's the cat.
Yeah,
Let's
people
point out all the little old scars that you've had for how long?
right. Yeah, it's people in the trial testified that she did have when she showed up to Utah right
Mhm.
after, she did have band-aids or bandages on some of her fingers. It's
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm sure they were, wounds that, and that's what the prosecutor said. They're the kind of wounds you get when you are stabbing somebody. Like she basically wounded herself with the
Right.
knife while she stabbed Travis over
Gotcha.
and over again.
Yeah.
Her work. You can see. This is her. That's her. I've got scars. She's a feral cat. All these little things are her.
Well, enough about your cat, but why is your...
Yeah, let's not talk about the cat anymore.
Enough about your cat, Jodi.
Exactly. Let's talk about the palm print at the murder scene.
Yeah, forget about the cat.
Yeah.
palm print in blood?
How can that be my palm print?
Because you were there.
What is this?
That's before we used a chemical. We thought we'd get something from there, but this is where your palm print was. Right on the wall. I can go over and over and over again. Over and over again. There's no doubt in my mind that you were there. There's no doubt in my mind that you did this. None. So you can go until you're blue in the face and tell me you weren't there and you had nothing to do with it. I won't believe you. I will not believe it. Because Travis is telling me that you did this to him. That's my job. My job is to speak for him. And this is what he's telling me. And I want to know why. It's killing me inside. I
That's
don't know
the
why.
thing. Like, there's no reason for it. There's no reason why. There's no reason I would ever want to hurt him.
There's no way anybody else.
He never raped me.
Nobody.
Never.
There's no way anyone else could have left your imprint in blood on that wall. No way. Get that through your head.
If I was going to ever try to kill somebody, I would use gloves. I've got plenty of them.
Nobody said you were, you had planned this out perfectly. Maybe you were going there to just talk to him.
So I have a question for you. Do you think there's anything that could have happened that night with Travis that would have saved his life? And I don't mean as far as somebody interrupting or anything like that, or him being able to overtake her somehow. But I mean, what would have stopped her from even starting the attack? Do you think there was anything that could have happened?
Well, possibly. I mean, we know she went there to kill him. She planned it all out. She brought the gun. She staged the robbery months before. So there's no doubt that that was in her head. That was her plan. But yeah, I wonder if when she showed up there, Travis said, "Listen, Jodi, I've been thinking, and I love you, and I want you to come to Cancun with me, not Mimi Hall.
Yeah.
And in fact, I want to marry you. I think you're marriage material." I don't think she would have shot him in the head then, because that's what she wanted. She wanted Travis to like commit to her, to marry her, and to be with her. And he didn't want to. He didn't want to have a public relationship. She knew their relationship wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that might have changed things.
I wonder if they had any type of a conversation like that before, because obviously they had sex. And it was just going to be like any other visit that she's ever had with him. But I wonder if there was any kind of conversation.
Me too. I wonder if she did maybe bring up Cancun to him, and he, reinforced and said, "No, I'm still not taking you. I'm taking Mimi, like I said I was," and that could have sent her into a rage. Maybe she went there like hoping he would change his mind about that, and if he didn't, she was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Have a good time with them. Something got out of hand.
Even if I were there, and even if I were going there to just have a good time with him.
What if I tell you somebody saw you there? A neighbor. Do you remember some of the neighbors?
Just
Dave.
Dave.
The next door neighbor? And his wife?
I don't know his wife.
Okay. What about some of the neighbors across the street?
No, I've never met them.
No. But you've hung around there quite a bit, and they know you. Yeah, they've seen you there on that day.
She's like, wait a second. I dyed my hair. I went in a different car. How could they have seen me? That's what she's thinking right now.
Yeah. And that's what she's going to say in a minute.
Yeah.
I had platinum blonde hair, so
Yeah.
couldn't have been me.
Yeah, in
The
a different
last time
car
they
too.
saw me. Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't there that day.
Jodi, you were there that day.
And even if I'm trying to think, the majority of the time that I spent there, I had platinum blonde hair. So, I mean, and I've never once said hi to them, met them, shook their hand, met them face to face, crossed the street. When I spent time there, he wanted to keep it private, so it was, I spent the majority of my time inside. Not, walking around outside. Except for a few times when I took his dog for a walk.
Would they see your car there? Or would you park it down the street?
No, they would see it there. I drove an Infiniti. So they would definitely recognize the car, I'm sure. Because, well, there are a lot of cars there a lot of the time.
Where's the Infiniti now?
Just, I gave it back to the bank.
To the impound yard somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to find any evidence in that car?
You're free to look.
We're going to look.
You can also look in the rental car.
What company did you rent it from?
I don't remember, but I can check my debit card record.
Okay.
I remember the make and
No,
model.
we're waiting for it anyway. But you know all the new cars have GPSs in them.
Oh.
Oh. Now, I don't know that that's true
I
at
don't think
all.
it.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know what the rental car situations are as far as having GPS. I know that I had a friend who had a car that was from one of those kind of a shady credit lot, you know,
Mm.
and it had an alarm on there in a GPS where if the payment wasn't received, then they would disable the car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. So I think possibly they had, and who knows back then? I'm not
Right.
sure, if they did. And I can't remember my friend who had that car, like what year that was or anything. Um, but they could, I mean, that could have been a total bluff too. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like it.
Yeah.
Factory. Not for you to
Well, then that's
use,
good.
but for us to use if we need to.
Well, then that's good, because I was also going to ask you, I don't know if this is something that you can recall, but a lot of the stoplights in Mesa and things have cameras on them. Is there any way we could back that up? Or, if I were going to
Well,
Phoenix, going through that tunnel, is that surveillance?
No.
Is there surveillance anywhere?
Unless you ran a red line. Unless you got caught on a speed camera. But nothing beats that stuff. And I have a solid case against you. And I can present it to the judge. As cold as it is now. I don't know why she did it. Or I can present it to the judge with your explanation. With your parents' explanation.
What do you mean?
Have
by
you talked to your
parents?
parents about what happened?
I told them I was worried about stuff.
About what stuff?
I said that, well, they knew I was upset about Travis, and I feel really bad by the way I was acting, because there wasn't, especially toward my grandparents, there were a lot of times.
Why are they not surprised that you're sitting here talking to me about this?
What do you mean?
They're not surprised. They're
Probably because-
concerned. They're
Have you talked to them?
hurt. I haven't, but my other detectives have. And they're very concerned with you. But they kind of suspected that you had something to do with Travis's death as well. Whose
No.
parents think
No.
that?
That's because I told them that a lot of people were dropping my name, and I said, I'm not worried about it because I didn't do it. I said, but it's hurting my reputation right now, and it's casting me in a bad light.
I wouldn't be worrying about your reputation right now. I'd be worrying about the rest of your life. That means nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, my reputation will affect the rest of my life. So I am worried about my reputation.
You're going to continue with the story then that you weren't in Mesa on the 4th, you weren't in Travis's house, you didn't have sex with him that day, and you had nothing to do with his murder.
Those pictures are, I don't know, to me pictures are very compelling. I know that they can be modified, I know they can be altered, and date and time stamps, I don't know, but I think they can be
I
tampered
didn't
with.
modify anything.
I don't think you would.
We take absolutely special care of what we do.
I know.
We actually take an image of that card, or let's say you get a computer, take an image of that hard drive and make a copy of it. We don't even touch your hard drive. We just work with the copy. And that's exactly what we do with the photos. We don't work with the originals. We just make an exact digital copy of everything. Move it over so we don't touch it. And then we analyze it. And our guys are so good. Every case they've ever done that I know of has never been lost in court. It's been argued and argued and argued. There's no way that they duplicate or that they enhance or that they change or that they do anything to a photo.
If I'm found
That's not
guilty, what
true.
happens?
You'll have to pay the price.
It's interesting that she brings that question up.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Do you think she means, will I get the death penalty?
Could be.
I mean, because everybody knows what happens if you're found guilty of murder.
Right.
You go to
Right.
prison.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Um so maybe she is wondering about the death penalty.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What's the price?
I don't know.
Don't you know what the sentences are? The sentences that are carried for something.
It depends on your situation, how old you are, depends on the type of crime. It depends on whether you show remorse or not. And part of that remorse is at least coming clean. When somebody doesn't come clean, I don't see any remorse. I don't know if a judge would see any remorse. I don't know if a jury would see any remorse. But I don't know. That's not for me to decide. My job is to investigate, find out who did it, why they did it, and present it to a court. And that's it.
I just can't imagine.
You have something to tell me, but you're just so resistant. I know you're afraid, but you're already going through it right now. There's no backing up. There's no backing up to yesterday. There's no backing up to that day. It already happened. And unfortunately, you're gonna have to face the consequences.
If I did that, I'd be fully ready to face the consequences. I'm not really for things like, I'm all for the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But
There's no evidence to show anybody else did that. None.
well, I'm just.
You think we'd find somebody else's fingerprint if they did that? Possibly. There's something that happens. You keep saying gloves. There's things that happen when people wear gloves. Then we can actually see that, oh, somebody wore gloves in this case. Nobody wore gloves in this case. Nobody. No
I'm
evidence of
just
it.
saying that if I were to carry out something like that, I would have worn gloves. I bought a whole box of
Nobody
gloves.
else did this. There's no evidence to show that anybody else did this but you. You were the only one.
I think she wouldn't think wearing gloves was important because she thought she could explain away any fingerprints left there by the fact
Absolutely.
that she had been there. She had spent so much time there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the problem was that they didn't just find fingerprints and palm prints; they found them in blood, in Travis's blood, and with her blood mixed in, and that's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, exactly. And how is the blood gonna still be there after so many months?
Hmm.
You know.
Right.
That is it. And I'm not seeing any remorse. I'm not seeing anything from you to make me believe anything otherwise. You can continue to say, I didn't do it.
Well,
But you're the kid that got caught on videotape stealing the candy. And you continue to say, it wasn't me. I have the proof. I have the pictures. It wasn't me. I don't think you would admit to it if your own mother saw you do this.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think she would admit it for anything.
Well, I mean, there's photographic evidence staring her in the face.
Yeah.
This evidence is really, really hard to dismiss. And yeah, like her content, if I was there, then I would have worn gloves. I could just never see myself killing Travis. And it's interesting that because like I said, she brought the gun for a reason. I fully think she planned it all out. She made sure to like cover her tracks and hide the fact that she was going to Mesa. She didn't want to get gas at any gas stations around there because she knew that it would be reflected on her credit card statements. So she got the gas cans, but she made so many mistakes, like taking pictures to begin with,
Yeah.
and then leaving the camera there. Because although Jodi is like, there's something wrong upstairs, but she is smart. Like she had her IQ tested by a psychologist, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And she said she tested very high.
Yeah.
Like she's not, some dummy, I guess, but she made some really stupid mistakes.
Yeah, she did. I mean, I'm sure that given the crime itself and the amount of violence that was there, um, she's not going to be able to control every element
Hmm.
of what's left behind, what actually happens. I think there could have been something in her mind where she was envisioning it, but certainly, where that blood goes is where it goes. She's
Right.
not going to know
Hmm.
what splatter is and all of that. So yeah, I think there's a lot there that she was unaware of that was going to happen, and that happens quite often in
Yeah.
these types of cases where there's so much arrogance in that premeditation that they overlook the fact that it's impossible for them to consider every single thing, no matter how careful they are. There's going to be something. There's going to be something. And
Right.
yeah, hmm
Well, I feel like the most obvious thing is the camera.
it is. I know. I know. So it's really interesting that she didn't take it with her.
No, she took the gun, she took
Mm-hmm.
the knife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe she took the knife, actually. She might have washed it, but she
Yeah.
probably took it.
Mm-hmm.
But she left the camera behind and ran it through the washing machine.
Yeah, and that is so even going down and doing laundry is so interesting to me. But, I don't know where that laundry room is in comparison to the rest of the house and where she could have crossed paths with somebody. I don't think anybody was home at the time when this
Right.
happened. But the fact that somebody could have seen her, I don't understand how she is not head to toe covered in blood.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
yeah.
she cleaned up before that because she put in some towels
Yeah.
and maybe some bedding or something, but she
Hmm.
put in some like clothing along with the camera, and she poured bleach because I think they were like
She
black
did.
towels or dark brown towels. Yeah, she poured bleach on
Yeah.
them, but there was no blood left on the bleach container where she
Hmm.
grabbed it. So she'd
Hmm.
cleaned herself all up upstairs, and I believe she even like took her socks off up there
Yeah.
so she could track blood downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because there was a ton. There was a ton of it. So do you
Yeah.
think that she possibly took a shower? I
I
mean, he
mean,
was in the shower. I don't
he
know.
was in the shower,
Yeah,
yeah.
that to me, number one, is amazing. That she because he didn't die in there.
Oh, right, she dragged him
She
down the
dragged him.
hall. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And dragging somebody like that, for lack of a better word, that's dead weight, picking somebody up off the
Mhm.
ground when they're not assisting you at all, they're just there. That's very hard to do.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
for
and Travis,
somebody, yeah, Travis was not a small guy.
right.
And
Yeah.
she's pretty small.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
she
for her,
dragged him down the hall
mhm.
and stuffed him in the shower.
Yeah. Yeah, that always amazed me though was that she commits this crime number one. That's going to be loud. He
Mhm.
probably wasn't totally silent the first time he got stabbed, and then the bumping and he's falling to the ground and all of that, and then she's running around trying to cover all this up, and then what does she do? Just walk out the door like nothing happened?
Yeah, maybe she went through the doggy door. But I'm
Oh,
sure Travis was very, very loud because there was he had tons of wounds on his back
he did.
and like
Yeah.
his head. So he was running away from her and she was
Yeah.
coming
And
at
yeah, we're going to see evidence too that he was being stabbed at his bathroom sink.
right.
So
Hmm.
yeah, oh man, it's insane.
Yeah.
And she told me, yeah, I saw her do this. You would say, no, it wasn't me. Why won't you admit to it?
I just can't. I didn't kill Travis. I just didn't. I did not take his life.
Did you have anything to do with the death of Travis?
I don't think I had anything directly to do with it, but I feel responsible somewhat for it.
Then what can you tell me about his death?
You know a lot more about it than I do. When I say I feel responsible, it's because I wasn't planning to go there at all, and he really wanted me to go. And I told him no, and I would have if it weren't for Ryan.
Okay. So now she's making it so that he had asked her to go on that particular day,
Mm-hmm.
but she said no.
Yeah, I don't think so. Later in the trial, she said that she surprised him. She showed up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, right? But he was happy to see her. I can't remember
I can't
now.
remember either. Yeah, we'll definitely find out more about that timeline, but I'm curious if there was any correspondence that matches that.
Um, I think if there were like text messages or emails or something that they could pull, of course,
Hmm.
then we would have seen that
Yeah.
in the trial. And I don't remember seeing anything
Okay.
like that, but there could have been phone calls between them.
And it's so strange to me too. It's not she's not down the street anymore. She's look what 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, she was quite far away.
Yeah. So what is Travis gonna be like? Oh, can you come see me, please? Can you drive 1,000 miles and come see me?
Right. Well, according to her, he knew about her trip to Utah,
Right.
see Ryan Burns, and he said, no, come here instead.
Right.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I think she probably surprised him.
Yeah.
Said, here we go, get out your camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's nothing really with Ryan and I. In fact, he has been very hesitant to move anything forward because he's not sure about me.
Oh.
That's what
Ryan,
she's.
smart guy.
I know. He's like, Jesus, I don't know if I even want to,
Yeah.
like,
This one
but
has
I
crazy written all over her.
totally. That's what she's talking about when she keeps talking about her reputation is
Hmm.
being hurt. I think she's talking about Ryan Burns because he told her, like, listen, people are saying that you killed Travis. So
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm kind of scared of you.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
He said a lot of people are talking. I'll just tell you that right now. I really wish this would get solved so that we can just put it behind us. Maybe that's a good thing because he's not an active church member anyway. But the reason I feel is because if it weren't for Ryan, I would have folded and I would have just scrapped all my plans and spent all of my days there. But I didn't, and I stood strong, and he got mad and got sad, and he guilted me. He didn't get really mad, he just kind of guilted me. And finally he was like, whatever, fine, and we hung up. I feel that if I would have gone there, that I could have done something. I could have.
But you were there, Jodi. You were there on Wednesday before.
Can I ask you, I don't know if you know this. Oh, I have a camera in my storage unit that I don't use anymore, but that Travis and I used to use frequently. And we took pictures with it. This is, I don't know. This is kind of.
Do you remember taking these pictures?
There were many pictures. Vaguely. We took tons and tons of pictures. Some I saved, most we deleted. Some he sent me through his phone.
He usually deleted all pictures like this.
Yeah, well, before he got there.
Any pictures like this that I found anywhere on his computer, camera, anything, they were deleted.
Well, prior to him getting his camera, all those pictures were on my camera. So.
All these same pictures?
I don't know. We took a bunch the week before I left. We took a bunch over the last 6 or 7 months. we took over last year, even when we were still dating, but we would delete them mostly. There were some that he sent me that I didn't delete. What I'm asking is it possible that, that my memory card would have been in his camera if they're interchangeable?
How do you know if they're interchangeable?
I don't, that's what I'm asking, is what kind of memory card it was.
Just a regular little SD card.
Well, because I've got one that's like this big, and it's thin. It's like a cracker. And the one I use on my professional camera is like this size, and it's more kind of like that thick. And the little one is really thin, and it's got like little thingies here for reading it, and my big one looks like that on the middle part. So that one obviously probably wouldn't be interchangeable because it's a Canon and it's a nice camera.
It's not interchangeable, it is.
But the other one, I don't know.
Your camera's here, his camera's there. He just bought that camera.
Well, the other camera that I used before that's broken now, it's in my storage unit, but it's still there.
And you're saying those pictures are on that camera?
No, what I'm saying is I had several memory cards for this camera that I don't have anymore. And so I guess it's so far-fetched, but I guess it's possible that my card.
You're saying somebody took your pictures or your card and is framing you and put that into his camera?
I'm just saying that if my memory cards were left at his house, he would have used those for his camera. I don't know.
They're date and time stamped.
Right. I think she's trying to say that the camera that's broken that she's referring to had the same photos. So the ones that are dated June 4th wouldn't have been dated June 4th on her camera with her memory card. So she's just trying to work some magic here to throw what wouldn't be reasonable doubt. She's just throwing any kind of doubt she can get in there.
Yeah, just throw any doubt.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like the detective said, Travis had just bought that camera.
Mm-hmm.
Jodi had never seen it before, supposedly. If we're going by her story, that the last time she saw him was in April, then she's never been near his camera.
Yeah.
And I mean, if she was trying to pull that story that, oh, these pictures were on my memory card, these same exact pictures, because she was really vague and was like, oh, I don't know. We took a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Like she wouldn't commit to admitting that she remembered taking those pictures at all.
Yes. Yeah. So if she had said, well, I remember this one specifically, and this happened to be from April or prior to then, but it's saying that it's marked June 4th, so that's not right. Then that would be a different story. But you saw the way that she looked at the picture of her, and she's like, who is she?
I can explain the blood, though, and I can explain the hair. I don't know about the fingerprint.
I can't explain the blood or the hair.
Well, the hair, there's hair everywhere, and probably every square inch of that house, my hair.
Yeah.
If you sweep it, you'll get hair everywhere. All over around the toilet, around in the shower. I don't know about the shower, because the shower gets used, but definitely around the bottom of the sink area. And maybe in the
Still doesn't
trash.
explain the hair to me. It had a follicle in it. You haven't been there since April. There's no way. No way. The blood? No.
Well,
Blood is mixed with his, and that's the blood that he bled that day when he was killed.
well,
Print?
I don't know
Absolutely
if you can
not.
check how fresh the blood was.
No, we can't check how fresh it is, but we can go by where it is.
Oh, okay, because I cut myself when I was.
And you're saying that blood that you cut yourself with back, who knows when, was
Well,
still on the wall in the
Oh.
exact same spot
oh, I don't know. about
where
blood.
the bloody palm print was.
It was a glass that Travis had that I was using to wash Napoleon with. I used to give him baths. And I dropped it, and when I picked up all the glass, and I'm pretty casual about it because I break glass at work all the time. And it's not a big deal, it's nothing to be scared of. I was probably just being careless with it, and I sliced myself open. And
Is that how you want to leave this? Just these far-fetched excuses on why your blood is there, why your hair is there, why your palm print is there, what pictures are there.
I don't know about the pictures.
That's how you want to leave this? I wouldn't want to. I seriously would not want to. You need to come out and tell me why this happened. I will not accept any other excuses. I will just move on with my investigation, with my final report, submitting all the conclusions and all the evidence. And we can just let a judge and a jury decide. You yourself said that if you were in my shoes, you would think that I was guilty. We can leave it in the hands of a
What about a lie
jury.
detector test?
We can do that, that's fine.
Would that help me at all?
I mean, you can't use them in court, but
Well, then there's no point in taking it. I thought those things can be used.
in certain cases.
In this case,
If you
could
want,
it?
I can check. Absolutely.
If I passed a lie detector test, would that help me at all?
Could help you.
I would love to see her on a lie detector test.
I think she thinks she could beat it. And
Oh,
that's why
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Anybody who's going to offer that thinks
Mhm.
that they can beat it. Or they're going to say, no, we're not going to do that right now, or something like that, you know?
Right. Yeah. It could be just to look, I'm innocent here in the moment. I offered to take a lie detector test, so let me go. Or,
Right. Yeah,
we're
exactly.
still like,
Just like how when he had mentioned the GPS in the car, she's like, oh, good.
yeah. Oh, good. Well, that'll show that I
Yeah,
was nowhere near
exactly.
Mesa.
Yeah.
They're so weird anyway.
What's so weird anyway? Lie detector test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're weird.
I
Okay.
guess.
Travis
This
is
is your one opportunity to talk to me because it's going to be a while before I talk to you again. And it's not going to be in this kind of setting. Okay. Do you understand what's going to happen to you? Well, we're going to, since these charges are out of Arizona, we're going to send you through the court system here. And then we're going to ask to extradite you to Arizona from California. That just means permission for you to bring you over, because you're out of state limits. And the next time we talk could be in a whole different setting. Could be in a jail somewhere.
And she's still not asking for an attorney.
Yeah, I think she thinks she's smarter than any attorney. And again, I think she thinks it'll make her look guilty to say, I want an attorney.
It's just amazing though, because he's saying, listen, here's what's going to happen.
Mhm.
You're not going home. We're going to file a request to have you moved from here down to Arizona, and you're going to be put to trial.
It is amazing that like I said, I think she thinks she's smarter than any attorney and she could, I don't know, get out of it on her own.
Yeah.
She could prove in court when she has to that she wasn't there. She can outsmart everybody because she agreed to do the media interviews while she was in
Yes.
jail
Yeah.
against the advice of her attorneys.
Yeah. And remember what she said?
No jury will ever convict me. You can mark
Exactly.
my word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So you're right.
I think this setting is a little bit better. But it's up to you. Jodi, I know you were there. I know that Travis was either in the shower or just outside the shower when he was shot. And I know somebody who was extremely angry at him took a knife to him and couldn't stop.
So I was thinking about this too. Do you think that she had this anger toward Travis, which clearly she did. The overkill that she did
Mhm.
obviously shows that. But do you think it's because he's the one who said he didn't want her?
I do. Something must have happened. She had sex with him for like several hours
Mm-hmm.
the day before she decided to kill him. So I wonder if, like we said before, I wonder if she maybe brought up Cancun, even asked him, "Will
Mm-hmm.
you take me instead?" And he refused, and that was what triggered it. It just seems really odd to me that she would spend all that time having sex and taking all those pictures, and she slept with them actually before. When she first got there, she got there very like late at night or early
Yeah.
in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and she got in his bed and they slept together until like noon or
Mm-hmm.
1 o'clock the next day. Then
Yeah.
they woke up and had sex for hours, and
Mm-hmm.
then he was in the shower and she killed him. I
Yeah.
mean, we'll never know the triggering event or exactly what happened. Of course, we know Jodi said that he attacked her
Mm-hmm.
because she dropped his camera,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
which is absolutely stupid because, like the prosecutor said in the trial, Travis was selling Jodi his BMW,
Yep.
like on a very easygoing payment schedule. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, just give me whatever money you can whenever you can.
Mm-hmm.
And she totally destroyed the car.
Yeah.
She like killed the transmission or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't care. He was and that's in like text message, the evidence that he was just like, oh well, stuff
Yeah.
happens.
Right.
So for him to, freak out and attack her to the point where she said she was scared for her life. He's
Yeah.
gonna try to kill her over a camera.
Right. Yeah. But also the fact that do you think that he was killed simply because he's really been the only one to break up with her?
Um,
Because I'm
I
trying to
think.
think of her past. I mean, she did have a lot of guys around. She it
Mhm.
didn't seem like she had a problem with finding somebody to date.
I think she really wanted Travis, and maybe the fact that he didn't want her
Hmm.
made her want him even more. Because she said, I've had ex-boyfriends and they've broken up with me and I didn't, or they've cheated on me or
Okay.
mistreated me in that way, and
Hmm.
I didn't kill them.
Right.
So why would I kill Travis over it?
Yeah.
I think Travis was different because she had a boyfriend when she met Travis. She was
Okay.
living with the man. Um,
The one in California with the house, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
bought a house together,
Hmm.
and then she met Travis and immediately said, "I'm converting to Mormonism. I don't wanna have sex anymore because I'm saving that for my husband,"
Hmm.
even though she had had sex with Travis, like, the first night she met him while
Right.
she was dating that other man.
Right.
Um, but as soon as she met Travis, she was done with that other guy, and her
Hmm.
sights were totally on Travis, and I think she like, watched him speak at one of those MLM
Hmm.
event things that was going on,
Yeah.
and I think she just, like, totally fell in love with him.
Right. Yeah, she definitely she was obsessed, clearly.
Mhm.
She was
Yeah,
obsessed, clearly. And I think maybe what it had to do with as well is that he essentially told her that she wasn't good enough.
right. She
And
wasn't married
she
material.
was not marriage material. And that's going to hurt, right? You'd be like, what?
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, is it a motive to kill someone? For Jodi,
For
apparently it
Jodi,
was.
it was, yeah. So it wasn't just a normal breakup, I
Mhm.
suppose, in the sense that it happens, or even if there was cheating involved or mistreatment, those people weren't saying, you're not marriage material. I'm going to go look for somebody else who's better in the church.
Right. Well, that's the thing, and Travis was saying, "I want someone like Mimi Hall, a
Yeah.
virtuous, good Mormon girl. That's the
Hmm.
kind of girl I'm gonna marry."
Yeah.
But he wanted Jodi to do all these dirty things with him,
Hmm.
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she was thinking like, "Okay, I'm good enough for you to." I don't know. Some of the stuff they got up to was pretty graphic, but,
Yeah.
like,
Take
I'm
pictures, videos,
Ye all kinds of
all
stuff,
kinds of
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. The three-hole
Mhm.
wonder.
Totally, yeah, and she was very willing to do anything
Mm-hmm.
that he asked her to do,
Yeah.
like sexually. So I'm good enough for that, but I'm not good enough for you to marry me. You want
Sure.
a good girl like Mimi.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that all played a part in her anger
Yeah.
towards him.
You couldn't stop. And before you knew it, it was all over. And then you panicked. And then
I've never been that angry at him. Not enough for that. I've been so far angrier at other people, at other ex-boyfriends.
Then tell me who could have done this. Who did this?
I don't know, but if I go to trial for this, and if I'm convicted for this, whoever did this is going to be sitting very pretty somewhere. Glad that it wasn't them.
And it's my job to make sure that an innocent person does not go to jail. But I don't see an innocent person sitting in front of me. When I asked you, I always ask this one question. Actually, it's two. First one is, did you kill Travis? And you kind of hesitated a little and said, I didn't have anything to do with it. Then I asked you a similar question. Did you have anything to do with Travis's death? You hesitated again.
Well, that's because I feel like if I had gone to Arizona like he
Most
asked,
people would say, no. Did you kill Travis? No.
well, I didn't, and I didn't have anything to do with it. Now, do I feel responsible? I've been carrying around guilt since I heard about it.
Why do you feel responsible? If you felt responsible, it means you know something else.
No, because
It means your actions led to his death.
Because he always has guilted me. He's always guilted me. And the last
So you
time
feel
we
somebody
talked-
else, you feel somebody else killed him.
Well, yeah,
For what reason?
I don't know. I don't know
Then
that.
how do you feel guilty if you
Because
don't know the reason?
here's why I feel guilty. One of the last times we spoke, he was guilting me about not coming to see him. And part of my heart still wanted to go see him. And another part just wants to move on and pursue this new avenue, which was in Utah. And there is a tinge of guilt. You know, when he would text me and he would say, hey, you want to come over and make out, or want to da-da-da. I didn't respond one night, and I just stayed strong, and I didn't respond, and then he called and called and called, and then the next day he was like, you don't care about me, you don't love me, you don't care, I was there all alone, and you didn't want to come and hang out, you didn't want to come and keep me company. And he says it not like that, but in that tone, but it's in the sweetest, sweetest way. And it's guilt.
I still don't get the guilt. I really don't. You keep explaining it, but it has nothing to do with whether he
Because he guilted
was
me.
killed or not.
He
How is you being there going to prevent him from being killed?
Well, I kind of feel that if I had gone, that we could have been out watching a movie, or two people could have done something more than just him. I just feel like if there was some way that I could have prevented it, there's some way that I could have done something to stop it. And I told that to a few people, and they're like, well, you might have been killed too.
All right.
That makes no sense. The question the detective asked was, did you have anything to do with Travis's death?
Yeah.
And her answer was, well, I hesitated because I feel guilty because maybe I could have done something. The question wasn't, could you have prevented Travis's death? It's, did you have anything to do with it? And the only answer to give is no. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's what anyone who was innocent would be so indignant.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be so pissed off. Like, no, I didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're accusing me.
Yeah. They wouldn't have all of these qualifiers that follow it, you know, like, oh, yeah, no, I didn't do it because of XYZ and,
Right.
you know, yeah, all of that. Her explanations for things, she has an answer for it all. I mean, as soon as he started talking about, you know, the blood again, you know, oh, I cut myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
and
she had
there's
the
that story. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Exactly.
you're right. And you're right. You said earlier that she expected to have a lot of DNA evidence or physical evidence there at the house. This isn't a place that she was never at.
Right. Well,
So,
she was trying to say that she cut her hand while
mhm,
bathing Napoleon the dog because she drops glass all the time at work. She works in a restaurant. It's a Mexican restaurant.
mhm,
She's worked there for a little while. It's really nice. She like goes off on these little branches of the story that has nothing to do with anything. But she wants the detective to believe that she cut herself with the glass while bathing the dog, got a palm print on the wall with her
yeah,
own blood,
mhm,
and then it stayed there for 2 months. Nobody noticed a palm print in blood on the wall.
right,
And then just coincidentally, when Travis was killed, his blood happened to mix in with her
mhm,
dried blood from 2 months prior.
mhm,
Her explanations are just out of this world. And I do think she thought that could be explained away. The same was with the hair.
yeah,
Well, of course, my hair and blood are there. I was there all the time.
yeah. Everything is a 1 in a million shot.
Hmm.
What I all of these are 1 in a million, and I'm hitting all of them.
Right.
That's exactly what's
Unlucky
going on.
girl, Jodi.
Right, right, exactly. Well, so we are done with that portion. We do have another portion coming up right after this where we're going to come to the conclusion of the first part. So
Hmm.
there's a second part where you're going to see her in a little bit of a different outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode and take care.
Bye.